Students, we are going to start with the adrenal glands. The two adrenal glands are present at the top of each kidney. Just like caps on the kidney, they are present. It consists of two parts. The outer portion is called adrenal cortex and the inner portion is called adrenal medulla. And this adrenal medulla produces a hormone called adrenaline or epinephrine, or also known as emergency hormone. So it is even called emergency hormone because it is produced in large amount when we have to face any emergency situation or highly emotional stage such as fear or anger. And this emergency hormone has following effects on our body. It increases the heartbeat, blood pressure is also increased, and respiration rate is also increased, and suppresses the digestion process, means slows down the digestion process. Due to increased heartbeat, the breathing rate increases, muscles receive more blood and oxygen necessary for the rapid contraction of the muscle cells, because for facing an emergency situation, our body requires more of energy, and for that the heartbeat increases. When heartbeat increases, the circulation of blood in our body increases. Even the breathing rate increases. When breathing rate increases, more of oxygen reaches our cells and oxidation of food takes place and more of energy is released, which helps us to face this sudden situation. And it also stimulates the increase of glucose from liver. So more of glucose is released into from the liver into the body. As a result, glucose in the blood increases and the energy increases, because then more of glucose will be oxidized. And it produces flight or fight response. Flight means if we think ourselves not able to fight with that situation, we run away from there. And if we think we can and we are ready to face it, we fight for it. And both these situations, for this situation, our body is prepared by the emergency hormone. Next we come over to pancreas. Pancreas is both exocrine as well as endocrine gland. It is elongated, flattened organ which lies behind the stomach, attached to the first section of the small intestine by a duct that transports digestive juice to the intestine. So it is elongated, flattened organ situated behind the stomach. Please children, this situation you are going to learn, because on the next page a table is given in that the situation of the pancreas is wrong. You will learn this one only. Behind the stomach, attached to the first section of the small intestine. And it is attached by a duct that transports the digestive juice to the intestine. So here this pancreas acts as an exocrine gland because it pours its secretion with the help of duct into the intestine. Then as an endocrine gland, these pancreas, they have small clusters of hormone producing cells called islets of Langerhans, and they secrete two hormones. In your syllabus only two are there, otherwise 3 hormones are secreted by the pancreas. We are going to do 2, insulin and glucagon. Insulin is a complex protein substance that acts on the liver to stimulate the formation of glycogen from glucose and store in it. So function of insulin is to convert extra amount of glucose into glycogen and store it in the liver. And if insulin is not produced in proper amount in our body, then the extra glucose is not converted into glycogen and is released into the blood, and finally it accumulates in the kidneys and passes along with the urine, and this condition is called diabetes mellitus, or in common language we call it sugar problem. So when pancreas secrete less of insulin, extra amount of glucose is not converted into glycogen and stored in the liver, and it is released into the blood and urine, and the person is said to be suffering from diabetes mellitus. And the effect of glucagon is directly opposite to that of insulin. Insulin's function is to convert glucose into glycogen, while glucagon, it stimulates the conversion of glycogen to glucose in the liver and thus raise the blood sugar level. So it converts glycogen into glucose, and the sugar is released into the blood. Together these hormones maintain the sugar level constant. So their function is to maintain the level of sugar in our blood.